The UK is seeing its biggest day of walkouts in decades today. Up to 500,000 teachers, rail workers, and civil servants going on strike this Wednesday. Inflation in the UK has been running at more than 10%, the highest level in 40 years. And the strikers are demanding more pay to make up the difference. Well, France 24's Bénédicte Paviot is in London covering the strikes for us. She joins me now from outside Downing Street. Bénédicte, why are you there? What's happening?
Yes, we have actually moved location because this is where thousands of protesters are now already on their way to us and will be handing in a letter of protest to Downing Street. Downing Street, actually, where the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, as we speak, is about to get on his feet at the dispatch box in the House of Commons. I think we can safely say it's going to be a bit of a rowdy session. There will be many questions from many MPs, particularly the opposition and particularly the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, about why these strikes are continuing, why the government is so set on against actually giving any public sector workers what unions consider to be a proper pay rise. You can already see some of them marching behind us. These are actually civil servants from the DCMS, the Department of Culture, Media and Sport. They've got whistles in their mouth, they've got flags, they've got pamphlets handing out to people passing by, and there is quite a big deployment of police. It is mostly about pay, but not just about pay. The sun has come out, it was very cold this morning. We think, according to unions, there will be 500,000 workers, civil servants, university staff, teachers, train drivers, bus drivers and others, and as I said, civil servants who are actually downing tools, so to speak, and going on strike. This will cause huge disruption across Britain. These strikes are mainly across England and Wales. Huge disruption, for example, in education, as if during the pandemic, parents and particularly students and teachers, yes, indeed, and pupils weren't inconvenienced enough. Today is yet another day of disruption, and parents are having to, at the last minute, make plans to look after their children because only key workers and vulnerable pupils can go to school. So severe disruption and coordinated action across all kinds of sectors here because they are very unhappy at the entrenched position of the government that says that a pay rise for the public sector would actually fuel inflation.
Bénédicte, you said this isn't just about pay. What other issues are at play, and is there any prospect of these strikes actually ending anytime soon?
Well, that is the core of the matter. As I said, indeed, it is not just about pay. It's also about working conditions and working practices. And they say that over the last decade, all these strikers, that they've actually been losing out. And now, when they're offered 3 or 4 or 5%, it's simply not enough. There are more strikes planned for next week. You ask if there is indeed any solution in sight. Actually, no, there is not. And some analysts think that actually what's going on is that the government of Rishi Sunak is thinking that as inflation actually comes down from the 10.5% it is currently, that actually the case of the workers trying to argue that they want actually an inflation indexed pay rise, their argument will become less strong. There's real mood as there is coordinated action. Will be interesting to see. You can expect many union leaders behind us, amongst others Mick Lynch from the railway union, and there is really a mood to continue strikes. Teachers have already said that although they're very sad and very reluctant to go on strike, they understand and regret the disruption caused for thousands of pupils today, let alone those who are planning and taking exams in the coming months. But they say this is absolutely necessary because their workload keeps on increasing and they just can't face their bills. And this is true, actually, that whole crisis of cost of living is uppermost in people's minds. But is this government trying to power through and who will actually blink first and who will compromise?